there's a possibility that we could be looking at DeBoer wondering if he's the long-term answer at coach for the Tide?
I'm starting to feel like Alabama, I can't believe I'm saying this, Craig, is a sleeper. Fourth easiest schedule in the SEC this year. Ryan Williams is back. I think the friendly, these early season games against Florida State and Wisconsin, that is friendly for Alabama.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
You're going to have the suck uniforms the entire season, but 3 games will give you with the best uniform. Those are the issues I have. The powder blues out for the Chargers. That should be every game. The Miami Dolphins old uniforms that they throw it back to. That should be your uniform, not the trash you wear now. The Patriots. You ever see them throw back with a little football player in the helmet? It is beautiful. But let's keep the trash uniform.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Things you have to look at is what the team has the following day, especially when it comes to bullpen usage. A lot of the things I like to attack is you see these extra inning games, these games get drawn out, these bullpens get worn, or if someone gets shelled the first 3 innings and they got to go to the pen, early, that's a good spot to kind of hop in the middle of the next game. You got a tired bullpen, right? You try and take advantage there, maybe with an over, maybe with the money line. You're getting plus money on a favorite at that point.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
His run in Salt Lake is over, but obviously the intimidation of a guy that's been around that long in Gundy and in this guy, if you look at their cases, they're very similar. It's been going on forever, right? And it's time for a change, I think, in Stillwater and in Salt Lake. I got to be honest with you. And believe me, if they lose again, they're going to get rid of him.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on
Hey everybody, welcome in. This is In-Game Live Game Day here on SportsGrid. I know if you weren't with us last night, you're tuned in as you typically do at this time. You're thinking, where's Gabe Morency? Where's Cam Stewart? Where is Sports Rage? And I wouldn't blame you for that. The good news is Sports Rage really hasn't gone anywhere. You'll see it again. The bad news is you're not going to see it this week. You've got me, Adam Kaufman, George Kurtz here with you. We have you in the Sports Rage time slot for the next 2 hours, and we will be doing a lot of in-game betting when it comes to Major League Baseball. Still one game that is yet to begin out west, plenty of games that are still in progress. There's always football, especially when training camps get going. Big action, a lot of crazy night, big night in the WNBA with a 5-gamer on the docket. Most of those have gone complete, but that's something we could explore a little bit down the road as well. But George, good to see you, pal. How are you?
Doing well, right? Yankees just they end Toronto's winning streak here, and as you and I talked about last night, yes, I was on Toronto. I'm a streak better, so I kept betting Toronto. But as we talked about, okay, I'm done. All right, now I'll take it more seriously about whether I should bet Toronto tomorrow or not, because the streak is over here. As a Yankee fan, good. As a bettor, bad. One of those things. What you call it? Threading the needle here. So it didn't thread it too well here tonight. But like I said, no worries. We have a lot of baseball games to go over. You mentioned football training camps. They're open in earnest here. As a Cowboy fan, I pretty much want to run through this glass window next to me here. Listening to Jerry Jones could just drive me insane. The man has to go. The guy, he just had, this is ridiculous right now. There was a great quote. I forget who it was, one of the ESPN NFL Live analysts who said that if someone promised Jerry Jones that he could win the next 3 Super Bowls, but that he could never have a press conference again, would he do it? And the analyst said, no, he would not. That's how much he likes to talk to the media. It's just insane.
Yeah, we'll definitely get to the Cowboys and what's going on with Micah Parsons coming up in just a little bit. Parsons, of course, has reported to camp, but could this situation cause him to leave camp? We will find out. But games that are in progress on the diamond right now, George, you mentioned that Yankees and Blue Jays game just went final with the Yankees winning 5-4. So the 4-game win streak for the Blue Jays, as you alluded to, is no more. The Royals have loaded the bases. No, pardon me, it's the Cubs with the bases loaded. They're trying to tack on against KC right now at Wrigley, bottom 7. Chicago already up 4-0, 1 run in here in this inning, and the bases are loaded with nobody out, bottom 7. So the Cubs an opportunity, and they were heavy favorites coming into today, north of -200, an opportunity to really open things up here. We have the Athletics, who are at the Rangers, kind of a similar story. Texas, a heavy favorite with Jacob deGrom on the mound, and after a 3-run homer by Corey Seager, Texas is up 6-1 in this game. However, top 8, the A's are batting, again, have the 1 run, so they're down 5, but 2 men are aboard with 2 outs, so we'll see if Garcia can get out of that jam. Top 6 in Colorado. Look, a lot of people like St. Louis going into this game, first 5, full game, what have you, but a lot of people also liked the over. And not so good if you're a Cardinals fan, but if you're an over backer, this thing is trending in the right direction. It is 7-2. Colorado is leading this game, top 6. The Cardinals do have runners at the corners, however, with nobody down, so maybe can chip away at this lead. No score, bottom 2, the Astros and Diamondbacks. That game is early. And also scoreless, the Brewers and Mariners in Seattle, bottom 2nd there as well. And still to get going in a matter of moments, Twins at the Dodgers. We will see Woods Richardson against Yamamoto, one of the stars of that pitching staff. What do you think? Anything in progress that you like?
All right, well, the in-progress games here, some of them I already have bets on, right? I'm already on Texas, so certainly not going to do anything there. It's too late to do really anything anyway. On the Cubs, so fine, we're good there. I was on St. Louis, so that's going to be a lose here, but I'm on the over as well, which I believe was 11.5, so we're looking good there. I think the question is, do we want to go over 14.5 for getting plus money here? We would need, 6 runs in pretty much half a game, right? So in the bottom of the 5th here. I think that's something we can look at, especially when these bullpens get involved here. We know Colorado's going to use, they don't have a bullpen, right? They have one guy out there who can pitch, which we might see later in the game. St. Louis, we're not going to see Helsley. So I think that's something we can look at here to take the over. I'm probably going to wait an inning, see if we can get maybe down to 13.5, maybe even 12. And if we get no runs here, then I might be more inclined here. Houston, Arizona, I'm already on the Astros to bounce back. They won last night, so to win again, I guess. Milwaukee, Seattle, I wrestled this all day. My head tells me it's going to be an under, right? It's going to be an under. 2 very good pitchers here, but it was 7. All right, so I took the over. A small play on the over there. I'm on the Dodgers tonight with Yamamoto. I'm on them on the run line, have them in a parlay as well. The first half already cashed of that parlay. So probably the Dodgers might be the team I care about the most tonight. I think with the parlay and the run line here, if they win by 2, I'm going to have a good night.
There were a lot of, real big favorites today. You talk about the parlays, and, we've spent a lot of time on this in the past. Do you like to take 2 that are minus 200, 225, 250, whatever it is, put a couple together, get it in the vicinity of even money, maybe up to, plus 110, something like that. But, you could have done combinations of Dodgers full first 5 or Cubs full first 5 or Rangers full first 5. I think the Rays full first 5 would have been in that conversation. There's, a bunch of teams today would have qualified. So, when it came to, as you like to put it, finding the dance partner, how did you ultimately kind of explore who you like enough to pair with another and what combinations to go to? Because there could have been enough temptation to, put multiple versions of this thing out.
I think the first thing I decide is I look at how many teams do I want to parlay? You mentioned a lot of top games tonight. So how many do I want to parlay? Is it just 2? Well, that makes life easy. But it's when it's more than 2. If there's 3 or 4 teams that I really like tonight, well, if it's 3, do I want to play a 3-team parlay? Do I really feel that strong about it? I like 2-team parlays. Because parlays are really sucker bets. They really are. Because it's hard to win both games here. You go to 3, now you're really asking for a lot here. So if there's 3, do I really like these 3 teams? If I don't, okay, then I gotta get one. I gotta get rid of one. It could be that, okay, one's a late game and I gotta get 2 other games. Let's get rid of the late game one, see if I can win the early. Then I'll worry about the late game to make up for it. That sort of thing here. And if it's a 4, okay, I get 2 2s. I'm not gonna do a 4-team parlay. That's unlikely. I'm gonna do 2 2s. And once again, I generally approach it where if 2 of those teams are playing in the early slot and 2 are in the late, those are 2 I'm going to separate. This way, once again, if I lose the first one, I can think about putting more money on the second one, or maybe even getting rid of the second one and doing them as solos to try and make up when we go to the run line. It's just, like I said, there's a lot of different ways to play it depending on what you feel comfortable with. But for me, it's mainly it's time slots that how I usually differentiate. If I want 2 at 7 and 2 at 10, that's the way I usually go. But for the most part, I usually only play one parlay a night. Tonight was two, and I've already one's going to cash. You named it actually with the Cup. All right, I'm jinxing myself. With the Cubs and Rangers, I think it's going to cash. They're both winning by 5 runs there. It should cash. And I said I need the Dodgers for the other one. Tonight is shaping up where if things go right, and I understand we say this every night, it could be certainly a much better night than last night.
That Dodgers game just getting underway in LA against the Twins. Now, you mentioned you like the Dodgers a lot. You like the Dodgers on the run line. Basically, what you've outlined is you like the Dodgers to go out and do what they did last night in a pretty comfortable victory with Shohei Ohtani on the mound. But what is the key to that ultimately happening?
You know, if we would have been on air last night, by the way, you do realize, I know you run with Dodgers as well, so was I, and I had him on the run line. You do realize that catch that Outman made, that was over the wall. He may not have jumped, but that was a good catch. That ball was over the wall. That's a home run. It's tied, right? And you and I are, we're going to be sweating out an extra inning game here. So thank you, Mr. Outman, there for that catch here. Because I would have flipped. If that would, I would have absolutely flipped because I needed that game last night to really, make my night profitable. So as for the Dodgers tonight, they're still not scoring a lot of runs at them, but they're playing SWR. And Minnesota is just not good. Give me the Dodgers.
Cubs up 5-0 now on the Royals. Still batting bottom 7, runners to the corners with 2 outs. Tom Vecchio will join us when we come back.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
It's in-game live game day here on SportsGrid. George Kurtz, Adam Kaufman. We have our first guest of the program. Of course, he is a familiar face and voice across the SportsGrid network, radio or TV, and that is Tom Vecchio, who is on Twitter at Tom_Vecchio and the number 1. We welcome him in for the next, I don't know how many segments we're going to hang out with Vecchio. We'll talk through some baseball, maybe some football, everything is on the table, including, I'm sure this guy's seen the movie Major League, at least heard of it. Vecchio, how are you?
I'm doing good. I have seen the movie Major League. I couldn't tell you the last time that I saw it. It's probably been at least 10 years, but I have seen that movie. Baseball is going well, at least today so far. I would like to get a hit at a Kyle Tucker if he can get up in the bottom of the eighth. I'm not so sure about that. We can mix in some football. I'm ready for anything.
You and I, our favorite thing that we paired together earlier when we were placing some bets jointly was a Rangers-Cubs parlay. That was, kind of the big bet of the day. And it's nice when the chalk pans out. At the moment, Texas is up 6-2, top 9 against the Athletics, trying to close them out. Meanwhile, the Cubs have a 6-0 lead against the Royals, and that one is top 8, KC batting. But, in addition to that, we've got the Rockies against the Cardinals. Colorado is leading 7-2 right now, bottom 6. So, in all likelihood, Colorado wins this game. Really, what people are wondering is how many runs will we get? The live total right now is sitting at 12.5 and a lot of game left. Beyond that, you have games that are essentially either just underway or nothing has happened. The Astros and Diamondbacks are scoreless, top 3. Also top 3rd in Seattle, scoreless game, the Mariners and the Brewers. And just underway, literally, top 1, Twins and Dodgers. Clearly no score there. So among the games that are scoreless right now, Tom, that are early, anything that has live interest to you?
I mean, I think there's reason to say that under 7.5 for Dodgers Twins might still be the way to go. Yamamoto's on the mound. He should be in for some better starts moving forward. And the Dodgers just haven't been scoring a ton. I don't think the Twins are a good team. I was never buying into them coming into the year. But here's a good question. Is Freddie Freeman in the lineup tonight? That's one thing I actually don't know. Mookie's been struggling. Like, they just haven't been hitting overall in their offense. So under 7.5, I think could be the way to go. He is. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we were for that last night. Freddie got hit in the wrist/forearm with the pitch the other night. He is in the lineup. Tom, are you worried about the Dodgers? They're not hitting. Freeman, does it matter if he's in the lineup? He's been batting 200 since June. Mookie Betts, 188 in July. They both look like shells of their former selves right now. Max Muncy, maybe a couple of weeks away here. Teoscar Hernandez is on the back of a milk carton. And except for Ohtani, Will Smith, and Ani Pajas, there's not much going on here with this Dodgers lineup. Are they a surefire thing to win the National League West?
To win the West, I think they'll win the West. To win the NLCS, that's a different story. And part of the problem is that they started off the year super hot, and then it's like, okay, Tommy Edmonds scorching, he gets hurt. Max Muncy started the year terribly, and now then he turned things around, and then he gets hurt. And like you said, Pajas has been doing solid. Will Smith's having a great year, and it's going largely overlooked by most people. And then Mookie's struggling, and then Freddie Freeman struggling, and Freddie Freeman started the year. So it's like, when was the last time they had everyone healthy, everyone in their lineup, and at least playing decently? Like, not everyone, like Max Muncy went through that stretch, he was hitting home runs like every other day. Like, you don't need to have all the players firing on all cylinders at the same time. It's just like, at least have them all in the same lineup at the same time, and then you can work through things. So I think there is real reason to be concerned if you are a Dodgers fan. I still think they're obviously a great team, and obviously you can say, oh, once they get Snell back, once they get Sasaki back, like then things will be turn around for the entire team overall. But the Cubs are very good. They can't beat the Brewers. So the Brewers are very good. And then, the Phillies will present them trouble when it comes to the playoffs.
There are 4 teams that have either the same record as the Dodgers or a better record than the Dodgers. But right now, if you look at FanDuel, the World Series favorite, understandably, is the defending champion LA team. It's plus 220, as you see on your screen right there. I mean, it's boring, honestly. Like, if you were if you were considering being a Dodgers backer, you may as well have just invested preseason, right? Because all they're doing is essentially what they should be doing, which is why you're not getting much fluctuation out of that number. The thing is, all those injuries that you guys have been talking about, coupled with the fact that they're not running away with the West, they're only up by 4 games right now, and I don't think it's a foregone conclusion. Even if they are the favorites, you're still getting plus money at them winning that division at plus 125 or winning the National League. If you look at some of the value down the board, which, as we sit here with August right around the corner, I know you might be tempted to want to get through the trade deadline first, and I wouldn't blame you. But if you could look into the crystal ball and sort of foresee some of what may happen around the deadline, Where do you find value on the board? Where would you invest at the moment?
So if you're interested in backing the Dodgers, there's really only one way to go about it, or variations of the ways. It's going to the exact results, or name the finalists, which is a market. So you get, Dodgers to beat the Tigers, Dodgers to beat X team, and you're getting a much longer number on that. But obviously that's like a very specific outcome. The spot that I would go for the World Series would be the Cubs. I don't mind the Cubs at 13-1. I think they're a solid team. I think they will continue to make moves leading up to the deadline. And ultimately, a lot of it comes down to the playoff bracket falling in their favor, where they would only have to play one of the Brewers, Mets, or Phillies prior to the NLCS. Obviously, depending on how things go, if they win the division, the Brewers get the wild card. Where do they fall? They can play the Mets, and then et cetera, et cetera. Like, there's a lot of factors that are yet to be seen when we have 60 plus games remaining. But 13-1, I don't mind the Cubs right now.
Okay, Tom, we got about a minute here. Give me a dark horse team, a team that's no one's really talking about. You think could do damage in the playoffs?
Part of me still wants to buy into the Padres. They just got back Yu Darvish. If Joe Musgrove comes back, like, Dylan Cease is a great pitcher. If you put out a pitching staff of Cease, Pivetta, Darvish, and Joe Musgrove, like, that is a pretty dark. And listen, even if Joe Musgrove and Yu Darvish have to do, like, hey, we just get 3 innings out of them just because they're not fully stretched out and we can't trust them. But man, Pivetta, Cease, and then that combo in Game 3, that looks pretty good.
Padres 29-1 to win the World Series. A team, and I wouldn't say they, after the recent winning streak, fall into the category of nobody's talking about them. They've got one of the best records in all of baseball, but I do wonder how seriously we should take this Milwaukee team, especially when you're still getting 16-1 with that pitching staff. We'll come on back. More with Tom Vecchio, more baseball. We'll get to some football as well. Stay with us in Game Live Game.
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he threw 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness. I mean, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Against him, I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game, because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag, and it was really cool to see him get the job done, and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like, Jersey boy.
Tough
to see a little emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah,
sure.
that was super cool.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
And I showed you the Heisman odds a week or 2 ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the second favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Whoa, slow down there, Coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Eric Skubal, another incredible performance. I mean, almost going 7-8 innings again, striking out a ton. I mean, I kind of felt like the Tigers really wanted that win.
There's a bit of narrative to it that people like to buy into, or, kind of, I don't want to say push a narrative, but the fact that he's doing what he did last year, but better, and is now in a spot to repeat, like, there's something to be said.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Rangers have won. The Cubs lead 6-0. That is bottom 8 in Chicago against the Royals. They are on their way, hopefully. I mean, we have seen crazy, monumental comebacks before. If you're chasing the over in the Colorado-St. Louis game, Cardinals did get another run, and they have a man on second with 1 down, top 7. It is 7-3. I believe the over-under going into the game was 11.5. So, they're close. They're not there yet. Scoreless, meanwhile, the Astros Diamondbacks at the end of 3, the Brewers Mariners at the end of 3, and the Twins Dodgers at the end of 1. And Vecchio is here with us. I'll bring this up again. And it's how I opened things with you in the last segment. But again, as we continue to see scoreless games early, it's not like they're going to end this way. Pitchers duels, they're fun for the moment, but do you have, and it's very situational, I understand, but as you look at these games, are there buy points to you on a total? The number gets low enough, like we got a 5.5 Houston, Arizona, 4.5 Milwaukee and Seattle, 6.5 still Minnesota and LA because that game is very young. Is there a buy point to where you just have to bet over?
I think there's a buy point in each game. There's no set number for, like, it's not like, it has to be 4.5 across the board. It has to be 5.5 across. It had to be situationally combined with the odds. So, right now, 5.5 for Astros Diamondbacks. It's 5.5 and it's plus money. So it's not just one of the two. It's 5.5 and it's plus money. The Diamondbacks have a terrible bullpen. Right, so again, situationally, not just being only 4.5, not just be only 5.5 when I might be. I want a spot that I trust. I want a number that I like, and then odds that I like. So the 5.5's moved to minus 104 now. So I'd still consider that a minus 104, but getting the plus 100 or better at 5.5 with the Diamondbacks bullpen in play, since they're terrible, that I could talk myself into.
Tom, you just put up a great thing there. That's the question I'm going to ask you. Do you look to attack certain bullpens? You mentioned Arizona. I'll bring up Atlanta, who is horrific in the bullpen here. I love attacking these overs. You get a 2-1 game to the first 5 innings here, and it's going to be the bullpen game, and then we can go out to the over. It might be 6.5 or whatever number it's going to be. I look at this almost every night, wanting to attack certain teams. As I said, Arizona, Atlanta, probably the top 2. The Yankees are right there with it. Their bullpen's generally terrible too.
Yeah, and that's something that Adam and I discuss, from time to time. It's like, oh, do we like this team in the first 5, or do we like their full? And it's like, well, their bullpen sucks, so I want to bet against their team's opposing bullpen, I should say. So it's like, I'd rather just have the full money line of a team going against the bad bullpen because I want as many opportunities as I can. And this comes down to a lot of like getting into the weeds of baseball is how I would call it. Like, you can find anything that you want in baseball to bet on, whether it's player props, whether it's full games, but finding bad bullpens will always leave you outs. Not literally, but leave you paths to cashing bets in the 8th or 9th inning, which is something that you can't say about every team. So bad bullpens are great. Like, it can come back and burn you if you are backing a team that has a bad bullpen, but I would rather look at the glass half full and be like, I want to attack teams that have bad bullpens. Therefore, I have as many chances to win as possible.
Tom, I want to circle back to something you were just talking about, and I'm sort of, picking nits, if you will, at the semantics of the way you put this. But you were talking about the plus money 5.5 in this Houston Arizona game, and whether or not it was appealing to you. And you said you liked it 5.5, you liked it plus money, you liked that it was both of those things. Then it started to move a little bit, right? We saw minus 104. You're like, yeah, I still like it, and obviously it's continued to move. I saw minus 114 a second ago. I don't like to presume. We always say it's smarter to be on SportsGrid. I don't want to presume that all of our viewers, all of our listeners are professional gamblers. So when we get to the nitty gritty of cents, what turns you off of a bet? Because, 5.5 at plus money moving to, let's say, minus 105. It didn't move 50 cents. It moved 5 cents. How big a difference is that to you?
On a day-to-day basis, it's not that big of a difference. But if I'm doing this consistently, it's obviously something that I want to pay attention to. Like, the line has already jumped up to 6.5. So there's obviously... There's no set number, like I said. It's like it has to be a range. It has to be like, I like it at plus 100, but the phrase everyone uses is like, I'll play it up to minus 120 or minus 125 or whatever it might be. So it has to be a range. It can't be like a hard and fast rule. So I like it at plus 100, but if it ended up at minus 118 or minus 120 by the time I got it in, that's okay to me. But I don't want that to become a pattern. I'd rather be before the shoe falls, so to speak.
Makes sense. It also, and I bring this up with Brady Cannon all the time too, it depends on what kind of bettor you are. Are you someone that bets the juice, or are you a flat unit bettor? that comes into play as well. Obviously, limit your winnings on the other side if you are victorious, which we all want to be with our bets. And yeah, those Astros, they're
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he's through 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness. I mean, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Against him, I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game, because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag, and it was really cool to see him get the job done, and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like, Jersey boy.
Tough
Good to see a little emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah,
Sure.
that was super cool.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
And I showed you the Heisman odds a week or two ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the second favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Oh, slow down there, coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Eric Skubal, another incredible performance. I mean, almost going 7-8 innings again, striking out a ton. I mean, I kind of felt like the Tigers really wanted that win.
There's a bit of narrative to it that people like to buy into, or, kind of, I don't want to say push a narrative, but the fact that he's doing what he did last year, but better, and is now in a spot to repeat, like, there's something to be said.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Tom Vecchio is here with us, a host and analyst here on SportsGrid. We've been doing a lot of baseball. Let's get to some football here with you, Tom. And you brought up something during the break that honestly, it's tis the season. Season's right around the corner. August rapidly approaching. NFL training camps are opening, obviously. This is the time for futures betting. And the impetus of the conversation here is that you've got a nice size bonus bet at your disposal that, you could just bet something tomorrow and, you'll get the result, win or lose very quickly. The other option, obviously, is, tie this thing up in an NFL futures bet. And what makes sense? Is it the prop market? Is it teams to make the playoffs? So-and-so to win the Super Bowl? Do you get greedy? It's a bonus bet. Chase something that's, 5 to 1, 10 to 1, or more conservatively and just get something that's slightly plus money. So you were floating out to George and I, some different team combinations, something George and I talked a little bit about last night, but we could actually extend that conversation tonight. Teams just to make the playoffs, teams that should be in the playoffs, hoping to avoid any potential calamities. Take us through your thought process at the moment.
Yeah, so, bonus bets are great to use, especially if you want to put them for a future. And there's a fine line between you want to get the bonus bet through and you want it to be a win, but you also want to juggle that with safety, risk, upside, all these sorts of things. So I had a bonus bet, Adam, as you know, back earlier in the season, which was $1,100 bonus bet on DK, which Devonta Adams came through at the touchdown, so shout out to him. On to today, I'm looking at Bills, Ravens, Eagles, Chiefs, some combination of these 4 teams. Now, do I want to do all 4? Do I want to do 3? One of the combinations was minus 119. One of the combinations is minus 124 that I'm seeing now. And all 4 of them is plus 141. So using a couple $100 of bonus bets, but I am tying it up until January. So there's that argument. It's like, well, I'm tying it up for almost 6 months at this point. So I don't mind.
Well, but you're tying up bonus bets, not bankroll, which is relevant.
Which is absolutely, and that's something that you're alluding to. Like, if everyone is not aware that bonus bets are different than your bankroll, so I can tie up this bonus bet because I have to use it by X date, which is the 27th. And if I'm going to tie it up, I might as well get some plus money on something that I think is pretty darn safe.
I kind of like this. Now, I was looking. 'Cause I wondered. You mentioned Buffalo, Baltimore, Kansas City, and then I forget which one he is during the break mentioned. Well, one could knock the other out because they're in the same conference here, and the only team I would worry about there would be Kansas City, right? Because they are really top heavy. All right. So I took out Kansas City, by the way, and put in Philadelphia. And they're now at minus 124 instead of, minus 141? Yeah. So I kind of like that a little bit better. Once again, I don't see any of these teams missing the playoffs unless you get I know this happened to Adam with San Fran last year, unless you get a series of injuries that just crushes you. So,
right.
Both these are getting me in trouble. Adam got me in trouble with win totals, and we can go for a middle here. And now you're getting me in trouble going 3 teams on a parlay making the playoffs here. It may not be future bets all the time here, but I have so much money tied up in January of hoping to between win totals and playoffs here. I kind of like where you're going with this, Tom.
Right. I was floating this by some of my friends earlier today, and the first question he asked was, are NHL futures out to make the playoffs? He's like, you could throw the Panthers in there. And I'm like, sure, I could throw the Panthers in there. A, it barely changes the juice. And B, that means it's now locked up until April instead of January. So that would be Panthers simply to make the playoffs. I think I saw before was minus 1,100. So that is a very safe option, but it does extend things that much further down the road until April 10th or whenever the regular season ends for the NHL.
To let you know, if you put the Panthers in there, we go from minus 124 to minus 102. So you're gaining 22 cents. So it's a game, but you just said it. Do you want to wait 4 or 5 more months to get paid here?
It's a very viable question, my answer is no.
You could go year to year with this, and I'll give you one small sampling. I'll just look at last year, which is nothing compared to the grand scheme of things. But teams that were, I'm looking at win totals going into the season. Teams expecting or expected to win their divisions and how it ultimately, played itself out. So the Bills obviously were AFC East favorites and won. The Ravens, same story in the North. The Texans, same deal in the South. The Chiefs in the West, they came through. Over in the NFC, Eagles and Cowboys were both 10.5, but the Eagles, obviously they won 14. They win the division. The Commanders were the shocking team in the NFC East, as we know. Over in the North, you had the Lions, who, 10.5. They ultimately get to 15, so they won. South was ugly, as we know. The Falcons were 9.5. They won 8. It was the Buccaneers at 8.5 who won 10. So fine. And then, obviously, as George alluded to, the Niners, who, had so many injuries that they were just never even in the hunt. 11.5 was the preseason win total, only won 6. It was bottom of the barrel in that division. So what you have to ask yourself is, if you're putting one of these parlays together, one of these combinations, who of these teams, if any, hopefully the answer is none, but who of these teams is the one that is most susceptible to being San Francisco? Do you look at Buffalo, for instance, and say, man, if Josh Allen, heaven forbid, goes down, the rest of that roster is not good enough to win that division. I'm just using an example.
Right. The team that would worry me is the team I haven't mentioned, and that would be the Lions. They would be on my list, but we have to deal with 2 factors. A, the division's very tough, as we saw last year, and B, they lost both their offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and their defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn going to the Jets, right? As their head coach. So the brain drain, as people like to call it. So I think the talent is still there, but there is something there that does present a little bit of worry, which is why they're not on my list.
Yeah, I think that's. We can say that about every team, though. Josh Allen goes down, they're toast. Lamar Jackson goes down, toast. Mahomes, toast. Jalen, they're all toast.
Right.
I mean, most teams are not.
No, but I don't think that's totally true. I think there's a lot of teams that you would say, oh, toast, meaning they're not a contender anymore. But I think they could still be a playoff team. Maybe I'm wrong about this. Maybe you guys disagree. I think Detroit, for instance, has a strong enough roster to where if Jared Goff went down, that's still a team that could make the playoffs.
Well,
But
the
maybe they're back
Packers
to
showed it
quarterback.
last year when
I'll look it up.
Malik Willis stepped in for the Packers when Jordan Love got hurt in opening week in Brazil. Malik Willis stepped in and I think they went 2-1. 2-0.
I think 2-0. Hendon Hooker to answer
that
your
sounds
question.
right.
Hendon Hooker
One of them
and
was
Kyle
at
Allen.
Tennessee.
You cheated.
So
you looked it up. I said I would look it up.
The question would be, can they still make the playoffs with a circumstance with a backup quarterback like Malik Willis, which at least they showed in a small sample size that they could. There aren't many teams that have the combination of a viable quarterback behind them and a strong enough roster around them between defense and running that they could still win games in order to make the playoffs. We're not talking about winning in the playoffs. It's simply just to make it. And this is all something that injuries are going to happen in training camp and preseason. It's just the nature of things. So if people are interested in this, you don't have to do it now. You can wait a couple weeks.
Which may be the right play, but Tom brings up a very good point there. Injuries are going to happen. We don't need to do it July 22nd. We can wait till closer to the regular season. I don't know if the odds are going to change that much there. By the way, the 4 teams we've been talking about, by the way, Hendon Hooker, Detroit's done. Philadelphia has Tanner McKee, done. Buffalo and Baltimore might be able to survive, guys. I mean, they've got Mitchell Trubisky, sort of Malik Willis type there, and Baltimore's got the ex-Cowboy Cooper Rush. But Tom, you're going to force me to a little deeper dive into this because I kind of like where you're going with this.
So I have to make the decision shortly because this bonus bet expires on the 27th of July. So I would like to wait until August 27th or August 22nd, but I don't have that luxury. So it needs to get out within 5 days.
I'd go Philly. Philly would be one of my teams in there.
No stress.
Yep.
Just don't pick them to win the division, though. That doesn't happen back-to-back years in the NFC East. Right. That's what we're told anyway. 2 decades at this point in time. Yeah, get ready. Get ready, Washington. Your time is now. Tom Vecchio, a host and analyst here on SportsGrid on Twitter at Tom_Vecchio and the number 1. Tom, thanks, sir.
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he threw 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness. I mean, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Against him, I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag, and it was really cool to see him get the job done and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like, you know, Jersey boy.
Tough
Good to
Jersey
see a little
guy
emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah,
sure.
that was super cool.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
And I showed you the Heisman odds a week or two ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the second favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. Like, I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Oh, slow down there, coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Eric Skubal, another incredible performance. I mean, almost going 7-8 innings again, striking out a ton. I mean, I kind of felt like the Tigers really wanted that win.
There's a bit of narrative to it that people like to buy into, or, you know, kind of, I don't want to say push a narrative, but the fact that he's doing what he did last year, but better, and is now in a spot to repeat, like, there's something to be said.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
4 innings. All right, we kept Vecchio around for one more segment so we can, more than a segment, so we can go back to baseball. first, to update you on what's going on right now, the Twins, not great. They have taken a 3-0 lead in LA against the Dodgers. I say not great because some of us, like all three of us, me, Tom, George, we're on the Dodgers in some capacity. Matter of fact, George, we were talking about parlays earlier. So I and Tom as well, because we do a lot of building together, have a couple of open parlays that I was just looking at that are not feeling real great right now. And that was the Rays money line full with Dodgers first 5. That would have been plus 102. Need Dodgers, to hurry up and score like really quickly. Meanwhile, another one is, Cubs first 5 with Dodgers full. Now that one's not dead. Dodgers do have time. They're only down 3-0 in second inning, but still, it's annoying. Anyway,
it's very annoying. No, it's very annoying. It's also seeing that you said Mizorowski was pulled. I'm not seeing anything in terms of him. He was pulled, but is it just it's not due to injury?
I don't think so. I think they just put. I think they're just managing him. I think they. Right.
That's a very low total.
That's a very low total, but this also impacts. If you're on the first 5 for the Brewers, knowing that he's only going 3 innings pitched, and is this a sign of things to come for what the Brewers are going to be doing down the road? Because that is important on how you are betting them.
Well, and just to pull it up very quickly, George, you mentioned 64 pitches. So I don't really understand it, guys, because his game log, I can read through his career game log because this is only his 6th start. 81 pitches in his debut, 86, 74, 72, 91, and of course he pitched, 7 days ago, 18 pitches in his controversial All-Star appearance. So every other start he has had has exceeded 70 pitches. I don't know why he's getting pulled at 64 unless there's an injury.
Yeah, this has got to be something they're not comfortable with. I said, I'm looking. I can't find the reason why. It just happened in the last couple of minutes here. We'll keep looking, but this does not. I'm not saying it's something bad. It could just be he had a cramp for all we know.
I'm seeing a clip of it now. He seems to be all smiles, and it doesn't look bad. He's walking off by himself, not with the trainer. So, A, it doesn't look bad, but B, I would like to know why, and was there some report after the All-Star break with them saying, hey, he's going to be limited to a certain innings or pitch count, because that impacts how we value the Brewers on days that he pitches.
Right. Not that we'll ever get an answer, but that's another story altogether. But yeah, it doesn't even get through 4 innings. Shutout baseball. Only allowed, 3 hits? It struck out 7 guys and is out of this game. I don't understand it. I don't like it as someone who, as Tom said, is a Milwaukee first 5 backer. I also had laddered up Mizorowski's strikeouts only to 8, so I only needed 1 more. He was well on his way to that. Clearly, it's not coming through. So that is something to watch going forward. Again, we have scoreless games. Houston, Arizona, Milwaukee, and Seattle, both those games in the 5th inning. Meanwhile, the Twins up on the Dodgers 3-0. Dodgers with a man on, leadoff man aboard, bottom 2. If you do believe in LA and you want to invest, you can get them at right around plus 160 on the money line. But let's look toward tomorrow, Tom, because it's Wednesday. That means day baseball. I don't know why we can't have day baseball every day, but we can't have nice things. Day baseball, it starts noon Eastern, and with multiple games, which is fun. Cincinnati, Washington, San Diego, Miami, San Francisco, Atlanta, and Detroit and Pittsburgh. Anything in that early window jumping out to you?
Yeah, I immediately look to the Padres Marlins under. I think that's just Dylan Cease is a great pitcher. I know the Marlins have been super hot right now, but I would immediately look towards the under on that. The Giants Braves line is I think it's crazy. The Braves have been terrible, as we know. Their bullpen's terrible, but it is Strider. And then on the other side, Verlander has been horrible this season. So I don't like the Braves line at minus 172, but I don't want to be backing Verlander. I think both things can be true. And then, man, when are the Tigers going to come away with the win? If they couldn't get a win today when Casey Mize was on the mound, I don't think they're going to be getting one I mean, Bailey Falter's an okay enough pitcher. He's not like a super big strikeout pitcher, but I want to back the Tigers. I just don't like the price at -146. That's what it comes down to.
I think that's fair. They're just not. I think they're a little bored. The Tigers are right now, just a little bored going through the doldrums of the summer here, as they know they're going to make the playoffs here. Listen, it's not fair because we don't know who's starting for the Cubs tomorrow. As it's TBD versus Seth Lugo, who could be making one of his last starts for the Kansas City Royals here. And so how are we feeling about this game? Cubs going to come away with the win. Do we like the over, which is probably where I'm leaning?
It's already 10, which I would assume means there's going to be some decent weather. I know there's like a heat wave coming through the Midwest. So if it's hitting Chicago tomorrow, if it's 10 now with juice to the over -122, I assume by the time we wake up tomorrow, it'll be 10.5, just because that's how things go at Wrigley. But I don't mind taking a shot on Seth Lugo at plus money or just the first 5. And I think there's a route to go both, as Adam and I like to say, a little bit of a skill shot where you get the Royals first 5, but you could still get the Cubs full.
I'm just looking toward tomorrow. Nathan Eovaldi is going to start for Texas, by the way. Remember, yesterday scratched due to the back tightness. He'll go against J.P. Sears for the Athletics. The game that, and maybe this is one of those skill shot opportunities here, Tom, but the one that jumps out to me, Houston and Arizona, Walter against Fott. Walter, at plus money or even money, somewhere in that range in the first 5, and then Arizona for the game at right around -115. Is a thought that is crossing my mind right now.
It is. I would also say the Glasnow line at -225 for him and the Dodgers is crazy. Chris Paddock is terrible on the other side for the Twins, but you shouldn't be laying $2 with the Dodgers.
Speaking of the Dodgers, they had first and second. They bounced into a double play. This team drives me insane.
Yeah.
We can hit them, this damn team here. Got to get Ohtani to the plate here. Tom, good luck tomorrow.
Same to you guys.
Man on third, 2 out. Hopefully they can get this guy home. Let's narrow the lead. All right.
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he threw 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness. I mean, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Against him, I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game, because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag, and it was really cool to see him get the job done, and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like, Jersey boy.
Tough
Good to
Jersey
see a little
guy
emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah,
sure.
that was super cool.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I showed you the Heisman odds a week or 2 ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the second favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Oh, slow down there, coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Eric Skubal, another incredible performance. I mean, almost going 7-8 innings again, striking out a ton. I mean, I kind of felt like the Tigers really wanted that win.
There's a bit of narrative to it that people like to buy into, or, kind of, I don't want to say push a narrative, but the fact that he's doing what he did last year, but better, and is now in a spot to repeat, like, there's something to be said.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All Our thanks once again to Tom Vecchio, a host and analyst here on SportsGrid. I got to tell you, George, gambling Twitter is irate at the Milwaukee Brewers right now.
Can't imagine why. But listen, we did find out, right? We were told, Tommy Reynolds behind the glass there told us that Mizorowski was hit by a line drive in the hip. We don't know for sure, but that's more than likely why they took him out. They're being cautious here. I mean, listen, he's their top prize, right? So they're going to be extra cautious here. It's probably a little ridiculous, but because he did wave him off, we're being told, so he felt he was fine here. But we know the way teams are nowadays; they're going to protect their biggest asset, which he is. So I don't have as much an issue as with this now. I don't think it's a red flag. We'll find out more for sure. You know, you hit with a baseball hit, it's probably going to hurt, and we'll find out whether he's going to make his next start. What's it? Maybe this Sunday or Monday. If he misses that start, well, then we can be a little bit more worried. But from the sounds of it, you know, it just is unlucky for us.
Well, if you are upset, you're probably not as upset as this guy. How the Pros Do It is the handle. Well, I don't know if it's a handle. It's the name on Twitter. Yeah, How the Pros Do It is the handle. And he had a ticket that he was chasing tonight, evidently. Jacob deGrom, 9+ strikeouts, got there. Chase Burns, 9+ strikeouts, got there. Jake Mizorowski, 9+ strikeouts, landed obviously at the 7. Had 7 through 60-some pitches. $100 to pay out north of $15,000.
Ouch. All right, he's got a gripe.
Yeah.
He's got
a tough night.
I'd be flipping out too. Because those are three bets that are far from locks, by the way. You know, 9 strikeouts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, these are all individually very plus money. I mean, I could tell you that, I mean, Burns was $550, Mizorowski $400, deGrom $370.
He was going to get it. Mizorowski would have got the strikeouts.
He was definitely going to get it.
Yeah, that's he's got excited. That's somebody. Okay, you got a gripe. You can complain. All right, absolutely, $15,000. I know I'd be upset. You know, I would be angry, to put it nicely.
I don't think I wouldn't sleep tonight.
It would be late night for me.
I wouldn't sleep.
Anyway, it'd be a late night until I could feel like I could calm down and go to sleep. This is what was nice, right? When I'm walking the dog later, you would hear me talking to myself out there. You know, people would go, "How did I lose this year?" I've done that many times. People probably think I'm crazy anyway. I can tell you when Yamamoto got signed by the Dodgers, I was walking the dog when the news came over. You had doo-doo-doo on the phone. I look and I knew what it was. I'm like, "Oh God, he signed. Who did he sign with?" And you see it's a Dodger, and you can just hear. And I didn't even realize it's midnight, and I get, "You gotta be effing kidding me!" And I was like, "Uh-oh." It was, I was like, "Uh-oh." Hope it didn't wake anybody up, but I was not happy. Gotta be aware of your surroundings.
Yeah, it's look. I mean, and this wasn't the case of it, but we talked about this last night a little bit. Like never bet more than you can afford to lose and all of that. And obviously this person betting $100, that wasn't that. But these potential payouts, it leaves you. You put it perfectly. It leaves you talking to yourself about just. What could have gone differently? Did I have to get greedy going for 9? I could have just done a parlay of, 7, 7, 7 or something like that. Wouldn't have paid out nearly as much, but it would have been a winner. And all of these things, like we've all been there in some capacity or another. I've had big tickets blow up. I've never had a $15,000 ticket, in terms of winnings blow up on me. But yeah, I cannot fathom where that would lead me overnight. I'd be beside myself.
This is the definition. And people look at me strange when I say this. Why I'd rather get crushed in a bet. My team lost 10-1. I lost. I wasn't close.
You were never in it.
Never in it. Move on. Next. Losing like this. Yeah, it would be because you can always feel the money going to your account, right? See those numbers going in. You feel you're tasting it. You're all this stuff. Oh, what am I going to buy with this? I'm going to get whatever you had your eye on. I don't know, brand new TV, a motorcycle, whatever it is. And they just have it ripped out. The way it was ripped out. It would be different if he ended up going 6 innings and he didn't get the 2 strikeouts with the last 7 outs. All right, at least he went. But the fact that he got pulled because he got hit by a baseball, like I said, he has a gripe. I assume it's a he, but he or she definitely has a gripe. And I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry for you. I would have liked to have seen you got.
It's not the same thing, but I'm getting ready to lose a bet here. I had Houston first 5, just sitting here rooting for the void. No harm, no foul, get your money back. Arizona bottom 5, runners at the corners with nobody out. Don't feel real good about Valdez getting out of this jam, but I will hope for the best, hope for a miracle, and just try and get my void. I have Houston full game too, so let's hope the Diamondbacks just don't blow them up to begin with right here. Hour number 2 on the way. More baseball, more football, more us. Yep.
Shohei Ohtani can do something that nobody else in Major League Baseball can do. That means being maybe one of, if not the top 5 best hitters in baseball, and then go on the mound and throw some gems out here. Like, he's through 9 innings so far in his season, which isn't a lot, but that ERA is at 1. Are we saying that once he gets to 5 and 6 innings, that ERA is going to stay at 1? No, it isn't. But if it does, my goodness, I mean, just hand him the Cy Young on top of it as well. It's cheating.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Against him, I'm not surprised that he had no back down in his game, because he is a player that plays with confidence and swag, and it was really cool to see him get the job done, and the emotion at the 18th green with the interview with Amanda, especially for like a really kind of like, you know, Jersey boy.
Tough
Good to
Jersey
see a little
guy
emotion
with the gold necklace. You're like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah,
Sure.
that was super cool.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I showed you the Heisman odds a week or two ago, and they had Garrett Nussmeier as the second favorite behind Manning. So Brian Kelly's very excited to have Garrett back at school.
He is no athlete, in my opinion. You can quote me on that. Like, he is a clumsy white dude, and he sucked. Like, I'm being nice now. Now all of a sudden you're talking about him being great? Oh, slow down there, coach.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Eric Skubal, another incredible performance. I mean, almost going 7-8 innings again, striking out a ton. I mean, I kind of felt like the Tigers really wanted that win.
There's a bit of narrative to it that people like to buy into, or, you know, kind of, I don't want to say push a narrative, but the fact that he's doing what he did last year, but better, and is now in a spot to repeat, like, there's something to be said.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Halfway home, you're an in-game live game day on SportsGrid. IGL is in place of Sports Rage this week. We've got you for another hour with George Kurtz, Adam Kaufman, another guest on the way, more baseball talk. We'll update you on what's happening on the dime in these games that are in progress right now. I did lose that Houston first 5 bet, by the way. Arizona with at least 1 run in the bottom of the 5th. Hopefully the bleeding ends there, because I do have Houston full game as well. The over did cash in Colorado, by the way. So 8-4 right now. The Rockies on top of the Cardinals, bottom 8. So that's good if you're on that over, as I was and George was. The Dodgers not helping us out, still trailing 3-0. Yamamoto on the hill for LA. But George, let's get to some football. A few things that came out today in terms of training camp stories. We are early in camp and have to start close to home for you, and I don't mean your literal home. I mean your fandom, and that is the Dallas Cowboys. You alluded to it off the top of the show. Jerry Jones and just, you know, the predicament he has put himself in. So Micah Parsons, who is an all-pro, a superstar, young player in this league, watching guys of his caliber or in that general conversation getting paid here in this offseason, whether it's TJ Watt or Myles Garrett. You saw Max Crosby get a big deal as well. And Parsons, who admittedly, I mean, he's got a couple years left on his contract. There isn't an urgency for it, but he's not happy. He's you know, claiming that he's not discouraged, that a deal's not done yet. But I guess I would ask you, do you believe him, for one? And how does this situation end going into the season?
Listen, when it comes to the Cowboys, it's all the same TV show, all right? And we've seen it so many times before, all right? Jones has been doing this forever. You know, he's not a smart, he's a very smart businessman. He's not a smart GM. Yeah, he's going to sign Parsons. That's going to happen. But he's going to wait till, because he wants to be be a big announcement right before the season starts. It's what he does with everybody. Think about it. It's what he did with Dak. It's what he did with Zeke. It's what he did with CeeDee Lamb. He's going to do it again here. We all know he's going to sign Parsons. It's going to happen here. But rather than do it, over the summer where he would have saved money against the cap here, because you could have done it before TJ Watt signed, before Max Crosby signed here, and you could have gotten him at $35 million a year. Now it's going to cost you $43 million a year. It's just because anybody who believes that Jerry Jones will do anything to win, I don't know what to tell you. It's very much not true. All right, Jerry Jones wants to win, but he will not do everything it takes to win. Because if that was true, A, he wouldn't be doing what he's doing as far as these contracts, and B, he would have given up the GM role many years ago, as he's not very good at it. You think about the Cowboys have not gone to a championship game in 30 years. All right, I don't see that changing this year. Anybody else? No other GM would ever have a job for this long. So it is what it is. I mentioned the story earlier on where one of the NFL Live analysts said that he truly believes that if Jerry Jones was off, given an offer, hey, you can win the next 3 Super Bowls, but you could never talk to the media again. Would you do it? And Jerry would turn it down. And I understand he probably wouldn't turn it down, but you get the point there, is that all he wants to do is talk, is yap. He loves after the games that, he gets to have that press conference, win, lose, or draw, right? Why do you think the Cowboys don't have a legitimate head coach? Because no one wants to work with that. Anybody thought Ben Johnson was going to the Cowboys or Mike Vrabel? People were talking Saban. Why would they want to deal with him? They don't have to. All right, he doesn't want to give that up. The last person he gave that up to was Bill Parcells, because Parcells told him, I'm not coming to coach you if I got to deal with this. You're out of the meeting rooms, no more of these conferences. But that's why he keeps hiring, puppets after that. So all he does is hire puppets here. Adam, I'm 56. I've been a Cowboy fan since the 70s. I grew up with Roger Staubach, Tony Dorsett, Randy White, and all those guys. They were pretty bad in the late 80s, pretty bad in the late 90s here. I am probably more discouraged now than ever, because it's not going to change under Jerry Jones. It's just not. I mean, if you think it does, I don't know what to tell you. We've been playing this dance over and over again, year after year after year. Yeah, sometimes he lucks into a good team, and Dallas is not a bad team this year. I think they'll fight for a wild card. That's about it, But it's just Jerry Jones. It's not going to change. You're not going to make the right moves here. It is what it is, and I said I'll always be a Cowboy fan. Can't give them up, but it's hard not to be discouraged about the state of the organization.
He had some comments today, obviously just more on this issue, and reading from an article on ESPN, raised some eyebrows when mentioning that a contract does not prevent a player from sitting out games because of injury, noting that Dak Prescott sat out 9 games in 2024 after signing the richest contract in NFL history. What did you make of, even just a comparison like that to a guy like Parsons?
This is what I mean by, do you think before you talk? All right, because he brought up Parsons, Dak, and that Dak got hurt when he last year with the hamstring, and then a couple of years ago with the ankle. You signed him. All right, then. Listen, it was a tough choice to sign Dak, because I'm the first person to tell you Dak is pretty damn good in the regular season, sucks in the playoffs. We'll just let you know he's not a good pressure guy. Just it is what it is here. But if you didn't sign Dak, what were you going to do? You didn't have anybody else. All right, you would have had to tank it for a couple of seasons, get a quarterback, and hope you could develop one, which I don't know if Dallas can do. Not with the coaches they generally hire here. So my thing would be this, Adam. Why? I mean, TJ Watt put it perfectly. Well, you can't give up a chance to tweak your star quarterback and your star defensive lineman if you got the chance. Why would you do that? It just made no sense. Why are you tweaking Dak because he got hurt? Why are you tweaking Parsons because he missed 4 games last year with the injury here? It's football. Players get hurt. Those were legitimate injuries. Dak tore the hamstring from the bone. All right. Then we saw the injury to Micah when I think it was ankle turn there. It wasn't like, we thought it was fake or anything. It's just strange that you tweak your best players, guys that you want to give everything for you, right? It's football, dangerous game, violent game here. It's why I never blame anybody who retires early in football, by the way. You get your money, get out, live a normal life, more power to you. I don't blame you at all. But why would you tweak these guys? Why do you do this? It just doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't pay off in the end. So stupid is what I thought. Just dumb. And, his son must be like, oh, God, Dad, please be quiet, Dad. No. So because he just can't be on board with this. This is not how you do things. But, maybe he is on board, which means things aren't going to change with Dallas for a long, long time.
Well, I guess I wasn't planning to go here, but you brought up Steven. Let's build on that for a second, because what's interesting, and people talk about nepotism in sports and nepotism in business. And I mean, two organizations that are near and dear to your heart, are the Steinbrenner family, right, with the Yankees, and obviously the Jones family with the Cowboys. Now, as we know, George is long gone as far as the Yankees go, and then you get, Hal and company, and obviously at some point in time, not that we're, running the clock on him, but at some point in time, Jerry's going to be out of the picture, and it's going to be Steven. I mean, do you expect things to run any differently?
I mean, you sort of do. I mean, you mentioned George and Hal, right? George would have done anything to win, including lie, cheat, steal. That's just the way he was. He didn't care about money, right? He was spending whatever it took to win. I wasn't a big fan of George Steinbrenner, but, he did want to win. Jerry, he wants to make money and win, and he wants to make money more than win, and he wants to be the face. I don't think Steven wants to be the face. I don't think he's going to be doing a press conference at the end of every game, but we don't know. We truly don't know. Who would have thought that Hal Steinbrenner, he'd like to win, but he wants to make money and he stays out of the public spotlight, right? He loves Brian Cashman because Cashman takes all the hits and Hal doesn't have to worry about that. So I think Steven's going to be more in between where you'll see him, but nowhere near Jerry. Listen, the bottom line is this. If you're a Cowboy fan, it can't be any worse.
We'll continue talking football when we come on back. Just to update you on the diamond, the Cardinals down to their final outs, actually one out, as a matter of fact. They are trailing 8-4 in Colorado, top 9. Meanwhile, Astros going bottom 6 now, still losing 1-0 in Arizona. No score. What's turned into a pitcher's duel in Seattle and Milwaukee game, bottom 6. Only 4 hits total in that game, as a matter of fact. And the Twins continue to lead 3-0 in LA against the Dodgers. The Dodgers do have one man on, bottom 3, but 2 out. We'll see if they can chip away at that lead here at all. But again, more football on the way, in-game live. Game day.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results.
What? How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple of 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. It's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
Cal Raleigh a home run. The Mariners now leading 1-0 at home against the Brewers. Just the fifth hit of that ball game. It is sitting bottom six. So low-scoring nightcap across the board at this moment. We have Arizona 1-0 lead at home against Houston. That is bottom six. The Mariners game sits at the same score and same part of the game. And the Twins continue to lead 3-0 in LA against the suddenly offensively anemic Dodgers, top four in Los Angeles. And of course, we're only about, less than 13 hours away from the next slate of Major League Baseball games beginning, George. But anything appealing here with these three?
Yeah, by the way, I don't think the Dodgers are all of a sudden offensively inept. This has been going on for quite a while with them. And I'm starting to beat myself up because I should have known better than to rely on them tonight. Really kind of frustrated that they're not getting anything against the Milwaukee Brewers, against the Minnesota Twins tonight. A team that's not exactly known for great starting pitching here. Simeon, Woods, Richards. Come on, man. We should have things should have been better here. Let's see, get plus 186. Want to go in with the Astros? I don't know why, but the total is off my board. Weird here. Sixth inning, it shouldn't be. And the game's I got a commercial here, so I don't know what's going on there. I can see myself going in for the Astros, but they don't have much of an offense here, all right? They still Los Paredes. You still don't have Alvarez. You don't have Pena. Astros lead Major League Baseball, by the way. 17 guys on the IL. Lance McCullers went on earlier today. They're a team, by the way. I think if you want, going back to divisions, if you wanted to take Seattle to catch them, you're getting a good price right now. And with all these injuries, I don't know if they can hold on to this division lead much longer here. I think the Mariners might catch. I think the Mariners are. I asked Tom Vecchio out of my question earlier, give me a team we're not talking about. He picked a good one in San Diego. I think it's Seattle.
Yeah.
With that pitching staff, right? I mean, if they make the right addition at the deadline here, you get a first baseman and a third baseman there. Josh Naylor comes to mind here. Suarez certainly comes to mind here. I mean, funny, they're both Arizona players. They could be a very dangerous team here. So I would think about Houston, but probably wouldn't pull that trigger here. I think I would be more interested in maybe going Arizona minus 2 runs. You have to win by 2, plus 210. I think that's the way I would go with the Arizona game there. Seattle, Milwaukee, 3.5. You're not getting a plus 1. You'd have to go the over. I mean, you're not paying minus 180 on the 3.5. We're not doing that. So over plus 134, I could be convinced here. Seattle's got a good bullpen. I don't think I'm going to go Milwaukee on the run line, on the money line at plus 280, but I could certainly think about that. And I'm done with the Dodgers. I'm not doubling down this team. They're I seriously think I'm about done with the Dodgers. I'm just not betting on them anymore. Not in parlays, not in run line. They won for me last night, and they only won because Outman is very tall and was able to catch that ball over the fence, or else I wouldn't have won that either. So it's one of my favorite teams to bet on over the last couple of years, especially the run line here, but they just can't hit right now.
George, you mentioned Ben Johnson before about, him not wanting to go to Dallas, be the head coach of the Cowboys. Let's talk about his new team, and that is, of course, the Chicago Bears, the first-year head coach there after leaving Detroit after so much success as the offensive coordinator. Now, I'll tell you why I'm going to bring this up, but first I'm going to bring it up, and that is what the offensive depth chart looks like a little bit among the skill players, with Caleb Williams, of course, at quarterback. Now, your running backs, DeAndre Swift, Rashawn Johnson, but more so this is about the pass catchers, even though Swift is capable. You have DJ Moore, you have Zacchaeus, who is there now, Rome Odunze, obviously, Devin Duvernay is a member of the Bears now. You have Luther Burden, the second-round pick out of Missouri, Tyler Scott, Cole Kmet, as far as tight ends go, Colston Loveland as well. Now, I mentioned all of these names for this reason. This was something that came out a little bit earlier today. Again, training camp stories, right? Ben Johnson has said that he wants Caleb Williams to complete 70% of his passes this year. That is his goal for Caleb Williams. Now, if you are wondering, Caleb Williams was below league average last year. Pass completion last year, league average was 65.5. He completed, I should say, the former number 1 overall pick, 62.5% of his passes. That was 31st out of 36 qualified quarterbacks, had about 3,500 passing yards, 20 TDs, 6 INTs, and even still was a top 5 season for quarterbacks in Chicago Bears history. Can he get anywhere close to 70%? Not only the, hey, it's Caleb Williams, evaluating him, but also with that group of players to throw to.
All right, we'll answer you for the question first. Can he get anywhere near close? I think he'll do better than 62. 70s, I mean, that's asking a lot. That's a huge jump here. I mean, the Bears made a lot of sexy moves during the offseason, right? But there's only one thing that matters with this team. Only one thing. Can they protect them? I mean, come on, Adam. It was a jailbreak. Every time it was an obvious pass situation, it was a jailbreak. They could not protect them to save their lives last year. I believe our Warren Sharp did a breakdown here where he was the most quarterback who's under duress the most in the NFL. You know, it was a joke. It was an absolute joke here. So I know they made some offensive line moves here, but they have to protect this guy. What's the most important thing? You know, there's three really important things for a young quarterback. One, a good running game, right? Get the second and 6, second and 5, so they keep the defense guessing here. 2, to get that big playmaker, right? That guy the teams have to worry about. 3, protect his butt. All right, you can't have this guy scared that he's going to get killed. And last year he was scared, you know. So I do wonder it's going to take a little while to get that confidence back for him. I love the skill position. DJ Moore, Adunze, you draft Burden here. I thought it was a little overkill. You didn't probably need to do that, but it's there. You got Loveland, the tight end, Lauren Cole Kmet. I mean, the running game is solid. Swift, Johnson, it's solid. If the offensive line, they don't need to be great. Can they just be average? If they can just be average, this is a dangerous team, and he'll take that next step. I just don't know if it's even average. I don't think it's horrific, which it was last year. Like I said, last year was a bunch of trash cans. You know, maybe we've gone up to 2 trash cans and 3 bodies now. You know, so it sort of remains to be seen here. But if they can just protect him a little bit, he can get to, I think, the 67, 68% range.
Only 5 QBs completed 70% of their passes last year. One of those was Jared Goff, who, of course, was with Ben Johnson in Detroit. But I would tell you again, look at the supporting cast versus what, I don't think it's a bad offense in Chicago, but Caleb Williams hoping to become the first 4,000-yard passer in a season in Bears history. Wasn't even close last year with, again, 3,500 and change. Can he get there this year? Is it more likely to hit 4K passing yards or 70% completion percentage? I'd say the yards, but he's still got some work to do. There's no doubt about it. We'll continue on. Much more coming up here in Game Live Game Day.
He might be hitting birdie putts, and he might be hitting eagle putts and putting up a 17 under at the moment. But the way he did it and the way he's doing it, who he's doing it against, I think that's a great point, that the level of competition, the folks he's doing it against, they all fall apart. Scotty's going and running away with it, but no one is keeping pace, and thus it becomes a boring competition. And maybe that's not Scotty's fault.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers, ready folks, is a top 10 WNBA player right now. You ever heard of the band Gladys Knight and the Pips? Yeah, it's Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. That's what she's got. Know what that means? She's got nobody. Enrique Wumwale has been awful this year. I don't know if she wants to play there or not.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
They still need Kelsey to beat Kelsey at times. I think they will baby him again. He won't be out there for 70, 80 plays. He's going to be out there for 55 plays, somewhere in that range here to keep him healthy as the season goes on here. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Plus the backup tight end there, he has some big games as well. So I think Kelsey is still very usable, but I think what you want to be careful about is you don't want to draft the name anymore.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Her ability to defend, shoot the 3, rebound, pass the ball, and on a team that is awful. Right now, trending to get the #1 overall pick if they win the WNBA lottery. Possibly to draft her buddy AZ Fudd, maybe. But when you look at Paige Beckers is a top 10 player in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
IGL Game Day on SportsGrid. We thank you if you are listening across SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM Channel 159, or watching the many, many different ways you can consume our content on SportsGrid TV, be it on the app, smart TV, the web, of course, social media, SportsGrid, SportsGrid TV, Twitter accounts, Instagram, you get it. We're everywhere, and we appreciate you being here with us. So to update you on the Major League Baseball scoreboard, Arizona continues to lead 1-0 at home against Houston, top 7, but the Diamondbacks bullpen is out there now. If you did want to invest in Houston, it is right around plus 200, and that is with a man aboard on first with one down in the top of that inning. Again, it's a one-run game. Seattle is up 1-0. Top 7 Milwaukee does have 2 men aboard, though, trying to even up this contest with 1 out in that game, and also into the bullpen for Seattle. Starters don't go as long as they used to back in the day, George. The Twins are up 3-0 in LA against the Dodgers, but LA, bottom 4 with only 1 hit so far, does have men on first and second to begin the inning. Is this the time that LA gets to Woods Richardson?
Well, we saw this earlier. I think it was the second inning. I think when Vecchio was still with us, where they had same situation, first and second. No, nobody out. I think it was Conforto bounced into a double play there. So, I mean, you mentioned we can't give up hope yet. It is only the 4th inning. I'm just I'm a frustrated Dodger better right now. Is really what it comes down to. Even though I won on them last night, but I really thought they would handle business today. I really did here. I think they'll get a run this inning, so I think they'll cut it down to a 1-run, maybe 2-run deficit here. So it'll make it more interesting. If you're asking me if I'm thinking about going back in on it, I am not. I am not going to be betting. I'm not double dipping on the Dodgers tonight. I don't care what happens. This is. I already got 2 bets on them. I am not going to go for a third.
Talking a little football here, some training camp stories, George. Obviously, I mean, no kidding. The Kansas City Chiefs are considered the favorites to win their division for what would be, a 10th straight year, I believe, at this point in time. And even still, and maybe it's just the enthusiasm of a new year and everybody's 0-0 and people are healthy and on. But, Brady Cannon, we've been doing team-by-team previews across the NFL the last couple of weeks on the weekends here on SportsGrid, and first division we did was arguably the most competitive in the entire league, and that is the AFC West. We talked about the Chiefs, and a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, a lot of hype around both the Chargers and the Broncos, and whether or not either of those teams could potentially unseat Kansas City. Not in that conversation, though a team that, does have some positivity around it, is the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously tons and tons of change between ownership and Tom Brady being part of the organization now, and obviously a new general manager, a new head coach. Pete Carroll is there. He's been bringing in some familiar people, most notably the quarterback, Geno Smith. You have Brock Bowers. You have some interesting guys. Sounds like, by the way, not to interrupt what I'm talking about here, we got a 3-3 game. Pajes, a home run. That means my first 5 for LA is not dead, George. It means our full game is not dead. It means your run line is not dead. 3-3, bottom 4. You love to see it, but we can get back to that in a second. The Raiders here are continuing to add just veterans. Jamal Adams, who obviously played for Pete Carroll in Seattle, a multiple-time Pro Bowler, not even 30. He signed with the club today. Philip Dorsett, who is, about as washed as, a guy can be, but a veteran receiver, low on the depth chart. He is with the team now. What do you think of the Raiders?
Not much. I do not care about Jamal Adams and Philip Dorsett. I mean, listen, I like Gentry. I think he's going to be an RB1, but I think defense are going to be barreling up there to stop him. He's going to face a lot of 8-man boxes. They don't have a deep threat to really move those safeties back. All right, Jacoby Myers, he's a really good fantasy receiver, by the way, but he's also a wide receiver too, NFL-wise. You don't have a wide receiver 1. All right, so they need that. Brock Bowers is an outstanding tight end, maybe the best in the NFL, but he's a tight end. So it's not going to be good enough to move the needle there. So they need a wide receiver 1. It's what they're missing. And if they had that, I would feel much better about this team. The defense is still average at best. Max Crosby may be great, but the rest of the defense is so-so. They've got work to do here. That being said, Pete Carroll gives you a legitimate head coach there, so you're heading in the right direction. But I still think they may be last. You already said it, this is a tough division. I think they may be last in this division behind Kansas City, behind the Chargers, behind the Broncos. It's a rough division to be in. If they were in the AFC South, I might feel completely different, but they're not.
You feeling better about the Dodgers?
Listen, what did I say? It's Ohtani, it's Will Smith, it's Pages. And if those guys don't do it, it don't get done. Pages, 3-run home run. Thank you, Andy. We're alive.
3-3, bottom 4 in LA, and the Astros, check that. The Diamondbacks and the Brewers are both threatening for runs right now.
He might be hitting birdie putts and he might be hitting eagle putts and putting up a 17 under at the moment. But the way he did it and the way he's doing it, who he's doing it against, I think that's a great point, that the level of competition, the folks he's doing it against, they all fall apart. Scotty's going and running away with it, but no one is keeping pace, and thus it becomes a boring competition. And maybe that's not Scotty's fault.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers, ready, folks, is a top 10 WNBA player right now. You ever heard of the band Gladys Knight and the Pips? Yeah, it's Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. That's what she's got. Know what that means? She's got nobody. Enrique Wumwale has been awful this year. I don't know if she wants to play there or not.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
You know, they still need Kelsey to beat Kelsey at times. I think they will baby him again. He won't be out there for 70, 80 plays. He's going to be out there for 55 plays, somewhere in that range here to keep him healthy as the season goes on here. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Plus the backup tight end there, he has some big games as well. So I think Kelsey is still very usable, but I think what you want to be careful about is you don't want to draft the name anymore.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Her ability to defend, shoot the three, rebound, pass the ball, and on a team that is awful. Right now, trending to get the #1 overall pick if they win the WNBA lottery. Possibly to draft her buddy AZ Fudd, maybe. But when you look at Paige Beckers is a top 10 player in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Back with you, and some interesting games still being played right now on the diamond across Major League Baseball. Again, it is 1-0 Arizona leading Houston. That one is sitting bottom 7 at the moment. Milwaukee and Seattle, that's a 1-0 game. The Mariners are leading at home. And as we mentioned, 3-3 now after the 3-run Pages homer. The Dodgers are evened up with the Twins bottom 4. Keeping my first 5 bet alive. We continue the baseball conversation, including a look ahead to tomorrow with our next guest. It is a familiar face and voice to those of you who are regular viewers of SportsGrid. Sean Higgs, part of the Believe Network. He is on Twitter at Mr. Sean Higgs, and a guy that George Kurtz here has a bone to pick with. He's very upset with his demeanor on social media. He doesn't like how these guys are interacting on Twitter. I just want to get out of the way and let you guys hash it out.
Well, how nice of you. How very forget
Sure.
Sean, my first question was going to be was an easy one. Now, you love to tweet Gabe, right, about the Dodgers, which I find hilarious, by the way. That being said, they just tied it up 3-3. They're not the team we thought they were, Sean. All right, or most of us thought they were. They're not going to win 104 games. Are you seriously, are we worried about the Dodgers that they're not going to be that team? I mean, I don't know if they're as good as Philadelphia right now. I don't know if they're as good as Chicago, and they're certainly not as good as Milwaukee, who's beaten them 6 straight times.
Well, I mean, how many guys? Let's just start at the back end of the rotation and in the bullpen. Just the injuries that they've had, right? I mean, from day one, from just opening day, and they're still closing in on 60 wins. And again, I thought this team, you're not winning that many games. You got pitching problems. You got a bunch of 5-inning pitchers and guys who are always hurt. That's played out, right? That is played out. The bullpen is overworked and taxed. Those guys are hurt. But the fact that they are still doing this and undermanned by miles. Like, who's been hit like this? What team that's in first place or second place or third place? There's none. And I hate saying like the Dodgers will be there at the end. How can they not be there at the end? Because they don't even have their whole team yet. I kill Gabe. They're overrated. They're terrible. So let's be honest. Come on. If they're not in the NLCS, I'd be shocked.
Who's the team? Who's the team to take seriously then in the NL that has the ability to knock them off? Whether it's a team that's right behind them in the odds race or a dark horse of sorts. I mean, who's the threat?
I don't even like this Milwaukee team is like I said, they beat them 6 in a row, and I think I should probably throw out my Milwaukee season win ticket unders. That does not look good, but I look at that team as a smoke and mirrors type team. But you beat who's in front of you. They beat bad teams. Come on, they got the Pirates, they got the Reds, they got the Cardinals. You're gonna chalk up 35, 40 wins versus those guys. You're gonna win 90 games. And then all of a sudden you beat a team. Every team's going to have a bad run, all right? We've seen that. We see these guys winning 11 straight. We saw Dodgers lose 6 in a row. We saw Cleveland lose 10 in a row. Then they come back and win games. We've seen a 17-4 run or whatever from Toronto. Baseball's a long season, fellas. I don't know who's better. They might have a better record right now, but I look at the complete team, and if all these guys come back, big if, and how they'll respond. But I still think you have to have the Dodgers up there. They're doing it. They're right here. They got 59 wins. The other side's got 60. And they missed half their staff this season.
Does it worry you that their record against teams above 500 is below 500?
That is the crazy thing, right? Like someone posted their record versus the Rockies and these bad teams. It's like 35-15, and then they're whatever they are versus the better teams. I attribute that more to who's pitching for these guys. I mean, you're bringing in who's that? Landon Knack, Sheenhan, Glasnow. I mean, we could talk about Glasnow complaining. Oh, the All-Star game hurts, fella. You've thrown 40 starts in 10 years. What are you talking about? But he's still a guy who only throws 22 starts a year. You have an entire rotation full of guys who are 22 start pitchers, who are 5-6 inning guys. I don't know how to, that's the thing with them. They've just been so undermanned. I can't give a fair assessment of them. Like, what are they? They lose to a good team. All right. I mean, you're going to lose to some good teams. Are they the Yankees, though, George? We know this for a fact. We're Yankee fans. We've seen them do the same kind of thing. You beat up on the AL Central and the West and a bad team in the East, and then the playoffs come, and you're getting, swept 4-1 by Tiger teams or Cleveland or, better pitching staffs. I don't think that's going to happen. I think if the Dodgers have their bullpen back and a couple of their starting pitchers back, they'll be able to go toe-to-toe with teams.
I'll ask you one. Go ahead, George. But are we worried? What's going on with Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman? I know they came into the season hurt. Mookie had the stomach thing where he lost some weight here, but he looks. He's only batting about 188 since July. Freeman's about 200 since June. Granted, like I said, Freeman's been hurt most of the year, and maybe he should have taken some time off and gotten healthy here. But as far as the Dodgers, if they keep hitting like this, I think I've said it several times in this show. It's Ohtani, it's Will Smith, it's Andy Bias. That's it. There's not much offense there. We'll see what happens when Max Muncy comes back. I do think that was a loss. He was playing very well when he had his knee taken out there. But they can't replace Freeman or Betts, right? They're not. Those guys are in your lineup. They're going to doom or die with those guys, boom or bust. So we'll see what happens here. So it's a worry for me. We keep assuming that Snell will come back healthy and be good. Sasaki looks like this is not going to happen this year. We'll see if Glasnow can stay healthy for the rest of this year. Yeah. So there's a lot of ifs here with the Dodgers. They're gonna have to make some moves by the deadline. But my main question was, Betts, Freeman. Do we think there's a revival here, or are they just gotten old quick?
I think Betts is. I'm not worried about Betts. I'd be more worried about Freeman, older guy. Sometimes they just hit a wall. And even coming into the season, it was like, oh, look at this team. You got 3 MVPs. All right. And then what else? Pages has been good, however you say his name. I mean, nice surprise there. Will Smith's good. Let's be honest. George, Adam, these guys are going to make a trade. They have depth in the minors. They will make a move, whether it's for Arenado or Suarez or McCann. They'll get a third baseman to come in. I won't be shocked if they grab another bat. We'll be shocked if they get a starting pitcher. I don't think Arizona's going to really send up the white flag now. They're 5 games back. We'll see how they go the next week and a half. I can see them doing some kind of crazy deal with those guys. Getting Merrill Kelly, Suarez, and Naylor for 6 minor leaguers. Right? They're all free agents. Arizona could sign them back if they want to next year. What do they care? Right? I mean, would you be shocked if they go out and get a pitcher, a third baseman, another bat, whether it be first base or a DH, outfielder, infielder kind of guy? No. They'll make a move. They've made moves in the past. They'll do it again.
The American League is interesting. I mean, you have teams like Cleveland and Texas that are hot right now. Detroit, who's got the best record across the league, is playing miserable baseball right now. 2-8 over a 10-game stretch going back to before the break, obviously, and the offense has, up and vanished on them. But, as far as AL contenders, how do we look at these teams?
Again, I was just talking about teams being streaky. The Tigers hit a little rough patch. You're gonna flame out a little bit. That's a lineup that doesn't have a great leader in it. Riley Green's good, and Torres and Baez and Torque, but come on, they could use some help there. Cleveland lost 10 in a row, and they've won 9 in a row, whatever. They just ran off a bunch of games. I don't know who the best team is out here. You'd have to say the Tigers because they will make a move, right? They got Skubal. You have to get another pitcher behind him because Flannery's been bad. I think they're the team to beat because they have the best pitcher. But how do we count out the freaking Astros? How do you count that squad out? Holy cow. That's a team. Another, McCullers on the injured list too. We got 20 guys. They have 9 starting pitchers on the injured list too. On the opening game roster.
More baseball with Higgs when we come back.
He might be hitting birdie putts and he might be hitting eagle putts and putting up a 17 under at the moment. But the way he did it and the way he's doing it, who he's doing it against, I think that's a great point, that the level of competition, the folks he's doing it against, they all fall apart. Scotty's going and running away with it, but no one is keeping pace, and thus it becomes a boring competition. And maybe that's not Scotty's fault.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers, ready, folks, is a top 10 WNBA player right now. You ever heard of the band Gladys Knight and the Pips? Yeah, it's Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. That's what she's got. Know what that means? She's got nobody. Enrique Wumwale has been awful this year. I don't know if she wants to play there or not.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
They still need Kelsey to beat Kelsey at times. I think they will baby him again. He won't be out there for 70, 80 plays. He's going to be out there for 55 plays, somewhere in that range here to keep him healthy as the season goes on here. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Plus the backup tight end there, he has some big games as well. So I think Kelsey is still very usable, but I think what you want to be careful about is you don't want to draft the name anymore.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Her ability to defend, shoot the 3, rebound, pass the ball, and on a team that is awful. Right now, trending to get the #1 overall pick if they win the WNBA lottery. Possibly to draft her buddy AZ Fudd, maybe. But when you look at Paige Beckers is a top 10 player in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Sean Higgs hanging with us from the Believe Network here on IGL Game Day. We're talking through some Major League Baseball, a lot of futures talk there in that last segment, just to let you know where things stand across the games going on right now. They're all close. Arizona continues to hold on to a 1-0 lead at home against Houston. Astros are not down and out yet, though, but they are running out of time. It's top 8. Top 8 in Seattle. The Mariners lead the Brewers 1-0, and we still have a 3-3 game. Twins, Dodgers, bottom 5, 2 outs. I really drilled down on the specifics there because I'm looking for a desperation run to win a first 5 bet with LA. But again, no harm, no foul if they don't get it. Pages, the hero, really, in this moment, to have gotten us that 3-run homer to even the game. Still on LA for the full, as I know George here is with a run line bet as well. They were heavy favorites. With that, Sean, let's look toward tomorrow. Starts bright and early on the East Coast. Noon games, and there are multiple of them. Some of the first games of the day on our hump day in baseball, we have the Reds and Nationals, Padres, Marlins, Giants, Braves, Tigers, Pirates. Those are all part of the noon hour slate. Anyone you like?
Yeah. Oh man, I think it's a little tough in this morning window here, right? I want to fade Soroka. I'm not a Nats guy, right? Early though, maybe it's an overplay, right? Let's just get out of here. I think I would maybe lean Reds. They lost 6-1 tonight. Again, I'm not a Soroka guy, so I'd look to fade him. Alcantara, we talk about trade guys. Do I want to bet on him? I can't bet on the Padres though. The Padres. This team, what an enigma the last couple of years. That's a pass for me. I do like Strider and the Braves there, but what a big number. Holy, what are they like? He's a 170 fave?
Minus 172 right now.
My goodness. I mean, Verlander's been terrible.
Verlander has not pitched well, man. He's 0-8, ERA of 5.
What's the run line on that? Is that manageable?
Plus 116. That's where I would go. I would go the run line.
Yeah, run line that. I like the Tigers Pirates under today. I'd probably say do the same thing tomorrow, but again, the Tigers are just kind of scuffling along. No, thank you there. My favorite would be the Strider run line, and then probably the Reds with over Soroka with Adola.
Might go the over in that game as well for the Reds and Nationals. It's a little heavy price at minus 118, but it's a day game here in the Northeast. It is hot. Ball should travel pretty well. I might hit that. I'm probably going to take the Padres, by the way. I mean, Alcantara for the Miami Marlins, he's been awful. There's no way of putting it. All right, so I think I'll pick him. It's a shame because this guy used to be great. But I think it's going to take an off season to fix him. I don't think Miami will be trading him by the deadline. By the way,
George, we see this with Bueller. We see it with him. Some of these guys come back from injury. It takes a year to get back in. For whatever reason. Some Strider kind of bounced back a little better, right? He's been getting better as the season progressed from him missing last year, but. Guys respond differently. And Alcantara's 30. It's not like the guy's 26, I mean, I'm not looking to trade for that guy. He was a Cy Young a couple years ago. Has not even resembled anything close to that right now this season.
His ERA is, I think, is north of 7. He's been awful here. St. Louis, Colorado. We hitting the over tomorrow, Sean? I mean, it's only 11. It was 11.5 of today's game.
I'll tell you what. I took Colorado plus 170. I took Colorado.
I guess you brought the price down. I got 162 now, so that's your fault.
Yeah. I think the Cardinals, right? They lost tonight, right? They were losing early. I think they got swept. Now they've lost 4 or 5 coming out break. I could see them just kind of falling apart and then trading away whatever they could get for, your Sonny Grays and your Fetties and whatever. Maybe this guy too. Maybe Palante or. Mikolo's still over there. That guy seems to be
still there.
36.
He's still there.
He's worse than Alcantara. Fetty ain't getting you nothing. Hey, good luck. We'd like to trade.
No, you would. Listen, you're a Yankee fan. You know you're getting Fetty. I'm shocked they didn't pick up Kyle Gibson yet since he was he
Kansas is going to do something I hate. All right, he's going to put Isaiah Kiner-Falefa at third base. This is what's going to happen. All right, the guy can't reach first base from third base. All right, this is what. I'm not going to be happy on July 31st at 6:01 p.m. I know that as a Yankee fan. Okay, it is what it is. You don't
think a nice combo of Charlie Morton and Kenty Maeda is a good pickup for the staff?
I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Hayes, because that Charlie Hayes, his father was a Yankee and won the '96 World Series. I can see that. The guy's a great defender and can't hit his way out of a paper bag. By the way, the Arizona bullpen strikes again. home
my
run, Bryce
goodness.
Matthews. I think the first 3 home runs of his career last night and tonight. Houston leads 2-1, top 8, 1 out.
I need a run in the Mariner game. I took Mariners run line tonight as a plus 177. And I felt that if I'm going to, I haven't been betting the Brewers, so I missed out on this great run they've had, right? I mean, maybe I might have had them maybe once in the last 30 games. So I couldn't jump in on plus
George
105.
has probably been betting them for a week.
Hey, so he's raking it in. But I feel like once it's at that tail end, I can't jump in at stuff like that, 11 in a row and 21 to 25 or something like that. So I'm like, you know what? If it loses, I'd rather lose. Like I figured it would be like a 4-1 game someone wins. So I'd rather try to plus 175-ish than taking a plus 105 or a minus 120. So we'll see. I mean, who knows? It's going bottom 8. Maybe I get a run here, but
no.
I'll probably go back to the well again tomorrow with the run line there with Seattle. I don't know. It depends. If Seattle wins 1-0, I can't play it. It's off. But if they lose, I'll come back run line Seattle tomorrow.
We have second and third, nobody out for the Minnesota Twins here as they're beating up whoever this is. Yamamoto's out. So they're beating up the bullpen here in the top of the sixth. Not what I want to see.
What are the Twins going to do, this team?
Not ideal.
They did talk about trading Joe Ryan.
They said they won't trade
They
Joe Ryan
should.
today.
They're mediocre. They're not going anywhere.
I think they got a couple of years control. This guy's pretty good.
You still keep
they may be saying this is just to drive the price up. I would trade Joe Ryan. I don't think he's all that great. I think his value is about as high as he's going to get now. They would get a mint for him right now in this market. But they did say today that I guess after the loss last night, that they're open for business. That pretty much anybody and everybody's on the block to be traded.
Unbelievable. Open for business. 4 games out of the wild card. We're setting up the white flag.
Oh, you got 1 million teams, though, in the hunt. They'd have to climb over like 9 teams to get a wild card spot in the American League. We can continue talking about it on the other side. But our thanks to Sean Higgs from the Believe Network. We'll talk to you soon, Sean.
All right, folks.
He might be hitting birdie putts, and he might be hitting eagle putts and putting up a 17 under at the moment. But the way he did it and the way he's doing it, who he's doing it against, I think that's a great point, that the level of competition, the folks he's doing it against, they all fall apart. Scotty's going and running away with it, but no one is keeping pace, and thus it becomes a boring competition. And maybe that's not Scotty's fault.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
Paige Beckers, ready, folks, is a top 10 WNBA player right now. You ever heard of the band Gladys Knight and the Pips? Yeah, it's Paige Beckers and the Dallas Wings. That's what she's got. Know what that means? She's got nobody. Enrique Wumwale has been awful this year. I don't know if she wants to play there or not.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
They still need Kelsey to beat Kelsey at times. I think they will baby him again. He won't be out there for 70, 80 plays. He's going to be out there for 55 plays, somewhere in that range here to keep him healthy as the season goes on here. So we have to keep that in mind as well. Plus the backup tight end there, he has some big games as well. So I think Kelsey is still very usable, but I think what you want to be careful about is you don't want to draft the name anymore.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
Her ability to defend, shoot the 3, rebound, pass the ball, and on a team that is awful. Right now, trending to get the #1 overall pick if they win the WNBA lottery. Possibly to draft her buddy AZ Fudd, maybe. But when you look at Paige Beckers is a top 10 player in the WNBA.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Thanks again to Sean. So 3 baseball games going on. Houston has taken a 2-1 lead on Arizona. That is going bottom 8 now in Arizona. Meanwhile, Milwaukee getting 2 hit at the moment. Seattle, I mean, just great pitching performance across the board into the bullpen now. But the Mariners are leading 1-0 at home, bottom 8. So the Brewers are down to their final at bats. Meanwhile, the Dodgers are just, this is a problem for George, for me, for anyone else on LA. Dodgers are 3-3 with the Twins top 6. However, Minnesota has the bases loaded, nobody out, and just walked in a run. This guy, Kasparias, who is pitching right now, George, has given up 1 hit and 3 walks since taking over for Yamamoto. I mean, put it over the plate and hope for the best. What are we doing?
You talk about the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Right now, we are the agony of defeat here. Base is still loaded. It's 4-3 now. This reminds you, man, you may not be old enough, Adam, but back in the day ever watch Wide World of Sports on Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons?
Sure, of course. Yeah.
Remember the opening? And they go through all those cool little things. Remember the ski jumper who, he's the agony. He's ripping. He goes all the way up in the air, and he knows he's not coming down on his feet. Ever wonder what that feels like, by the way? But that's the agony of the feet. And right now, I feel like I'm that ski jumper. I'm up here, and I'm like, oh, God, I'm not going to land on my feet right now because, I mean, listen, we got the Andy Pies 3-run homer to tie the game up. And, it's bases, though, to nobody out. It's 4-3 Minnesota. Frustrating. Just a frustrating way to, after we were just so happy an inning ago. Not looking
It's not, but it's not even just like, they were, they tied it. Now they're down 4-3. It's the way it's unfolding. George, 3 walks by this reliever, along with 1 hit. Again, like he's just giving it to them. They're just granting them the lead in this game, and maybe a huge lead in a matter of 5 or 10 minutes. Obviously, they're making a change, so a different reliever is coming in. But frustrating as it is when guys get into a situation where it's just a parade of hits, but at least it's a parade of hits. This is all just free pass, free pass, free pass. I mean, be competitive.
This is what I would call they're not winning, you're losing, right? Because you're handing it to them.
Right.
I just took a quick look, by the way, at the total. It's still 12.5. I was hoping maybe a little lower here. I might give it a go, but it's still 12.5, so I'm not going to go in on it because we're at 7. You got bases loaded. You're going to get to, I would think, at least 9. I think they're going to score at least 2. I mean, once you get 2 productive outs, you get 2 runs. That's without any other hits here. So that gets you 9. 4 runs here in the last 3.5. If I just trusted that Dodge, if I trust the Dodgers offense, if this is a Dodgers offense of old, I'm in on this. But it's not. So I can't trust it. But if we get it down to 11.5 and it's still in this inning, I might be a little bit more persuasive to go for that. It also went up 18 cents. It was at -1. It was pretty much even money. Now it's -118. Another reason I'm turned. Oh, great. Alexis Diaz, who they just called up today, is in the game. We're fine. I'm sure things will go well.
Who do you like tomorrow, since nice early baseball?
Yeah, you mentioned I like day baseball as well. So most guys, I'm not going to be on the over in Cincinnati, Washington. Said that earlier. The Dolo and Soroka there. We'll take the over. I probably do lean towards Cincinnati to win the game, but I'm not betting it, not right now. I do like the San Diego Padres over the Miami Marlins. Said it already. Sandy Alcantara's pitching. He's been terrible. All right, it's sad, and hopefully Sean Higgs is right. It just takes some time here, maybe next year. I don't think he's going to get traded for that matter. I think they'll wait and see if they can fix him during the offseason. I'll be on the Atlanta Braves. You already said Verlander does not pitch very well. Strider's been good. I don't know. I'm not going to say he's back to being Strider yet, but he's been good of late. We're certainly good against the Yankees on Friday night. So I'll be taking the run line there. Probably not laying -172, but I'll take the run line. Are they going to get an infield hit here? No, they got him at first, but they do get a run anyway. Detroit, Pittsburgh, I'm going to take the over, all right? I mean, Melton, Falter, they got to score some runs here, right? I bet Pittsburgh today. I told you last night that I was betting Pittsburgh today, right? Plus money. I don't know if I have the stones to do this 2 days in a row, all right, for Pittsburgh to win twice here, but I'm leaning towards the Pirates at plus 124 again here. Odds are we're taking the Royals over the Cubs. I do want to see who the Cubs were starting, and I think like Tom Vecchio said, the weather's going to be in our favor tomorrow for an over. So we're going to take a look at that over, and it went down a half a run here, over 10.5.
Well, again, Now 5-3 Twins are leading with the 1 out. Men on second and third. You have a 2-1 Astros lead, bottom 8 in Arizona, and the Mariners continue to lead 1-0. They are batting bottom 8, and so Milwaukee has 3 more outs, 3 more chances to extend its winning streak to 12 games. I hope Mr. Streak Better George Kurtz has been investing over the last week. Thanks to Tommy, to AJ, to Chris, to Patrick. We'll be back with you again in